Good morning, good people. I pray all is well with everyone. It is now, let me check the time, 9:34 a.m. in the city of New York, the Empire State, the Big Apple. I pray everyone is woke up, have a blessed morning, a blessed day. I pray everything during your day goes well. And anyone that's going through anything, I pray that God can turn things around. He works just that quick and just on time. I just wanted to get my thoughts on something, and my thoughts that I wanted to give was on attire. And the reason I want to talk about attire is because I I'm not old, but I've been around long enough, and it's not just attire only in atmosphere, it's attire and everything. And one attire I wanted to address first is climate. I cannot stand seeing people dressing the wrong attire for the climate outside. Picking my son up out at his school, I saw so many children coming out with polo shirts like this with no jacket yesterday. My son told me he was cold with the jacket he had on in the morning. I left, picked my son up a jacket from the store and brought it to his school. I saw kids standing outside freezing. Parents are all bundled up picking their kids up while their kids are coming out with no jacket. I was in my thoughts in my temperature here in New York City has dropped drastically. It's time for scarf, gloves, hats. It's not time for hoodies. It's not time for polo shirts or wear a long sleeve shirt and get out the house. Dress appropriate for the weather. This is how you could let down a lot of sicknesses if you dress appropriately. If you cover your head, it keeps the warmth. If you cover your hands, it keeps the warmth. We don't have time. A lot of people ain't got health insurance, or down saying got. A lot of people do not have health insurance. So parents, dress your kids accordingly because you're sending sick children to school because they're not dressed accordingly outside. If they don't have a jacket, guess what? Make it known to your child's school, I cannot afford a jacket. You never know what parent, what staff member might be so kind to provide your child with a jacket, with a hat, a scarf, a glove. There's shelters you can go pick up things. There's churches, but it bothers my mind and boggles me when I see parents dressed and bundled up and their babies, their toddlers, their children are not dressed appropriately. And then school staff members do not urge your children to put jackets on a lot of times for recess. They let them go outside and like yesterday I seen like 5 kids say, "Can I leave my jacket in the lobby?" They didn't want to take it. So parents, I'm encouraging you, talk to your children, and you as parents, do what's right. Get your kids dressed appropriately for the weather, and including yourself. Dress appropriately for the weather. I don't want to be on a train and I feel someone coughing on my neck with slobbing nose, and then you going like this, and then you want to hold onto the train pole. Absolutely not. I don't want to be on the bus. I don't want to be at work, and you just disgusting. Granted, people are going to get sick, but there's some things that you can avoid and alleviate if you dress appropriately. I ran outside yesterday to catch a bus, and the man was like, "Put your jacket on, put your jacket on." "Oh my God, it's cold." I said, "I am. I'm just rushing to the bus." And he was like, "No, but still put your jacket on. It's cold." It was freezing outside, but I was in haste. But guess what? I was outside throwing that jacket, my hoodie, and everything. Dress appropriate for the weather. Another location I say dress appropriate for work. This mentality of spandex pants, I wish to go right out the window. I'm sick of seeing spandex pants on skinny women, thick women, big boned women, in between women. I'm seeing all your business. Most of them don't even wear shirts to cover their behind and cover their front. If I see all your business, if I see your sanitary pads through your spandex pants, that's disgusting. So I just wish that it gets to the point where spandex pants is just banned from work, banned from school. Okay, you can wear it to the gym to work out, but there's some places that it's time out because there's too much business being exposed that don't need to be exposed. I see the print of your panties, and I'm talking about the print, like the designs, the flowers, the words, because you're wearing the see-through ones that almost look like stockings and look like tights. So I think that we have to know when and where to wear certain things. Now, for me, there's some things I'll wear around my family because first of all, my family see me when I get up, when I look like a hot mess, when I ain't all together, doesn't matter. Everybody know me, I'm laid back, I'm chill. But at the same time, there's some things I should not wear in the atmosphere of everybody and everything because everything doesn't need to be seen by everybody. So spandex pants gotta go. I went to church one day, not my church. But I went to a church one day and someone walked right past me and had on spandex pants, and I was like, my God, I can't even focus because it was just like, and then it was color of their skin, so it looked like they were nude. And that's another thing. People keep wearing these skin tone ones. Like if you're tan skin, so you get the tan ones. So you're brown. It look like you barely have no clothes on. This spandex thing, I can't wait for that era to just go right out the window. Along with guys in exempt, along with guys wearing these over tight pants. As my grandpa was, my pastor would say, we see a cluster of grapes, and that's unnecessary. I don't want to have to sit in church, sit on the train, sit on the bus, and it's just like, whoa. Whoa. I'll never forget as a kid. This is what I talk about appropriately dressed. A man, we was on a school trip and he had on shorts. And he had on those loose shorts. And it was like those type of people that like they're free in nature. And he sat down. He had no underwear underneath these loose shorts. He went jogging. And when he sat down, what sat down with him? His whole genitalia was sitting on the chair, and us as kids was like, oh look. And my teacher noticed that we were looking at something, and she was like, and the man, all he could do was just try to cover himself, but he had nothing to cover himself with. So if you dress appropriately, this wouldn't be an issue. um these tight pants wearing, whether you be male or female, females would want to expose camel toe. That's how you get yeast infection, first of all. uh and guys, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It shouldn't like we see a sock in your pants and stuff. Come on. Let's go back to dressing appropriate. You don't need tight pants at work. I went to my son's school. This teacher's pants, the man's pants was tight as the women's, and I was like, ugh, you're confusing our children. You don't need tight pants at church. I want to worship. And if a woman's attire has to be appropriate so don't distract the men, the pastors, or whatever, it needs to be flipped around. Hey, men, your clothes can be a hindrance for another female, and in some churches, for another male. We don't need to see all your business that's going on down there. We don't need to see your imprint laying on your thigh. There's some things that has got to be stopped. You come into work and it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Um another attire issue is, to me, is a person that wants to expose, I guess, all their boobage. There's a time and a place for everything. A time and a place for everything. You're in church and you almost basically see someone's areolas, or it's a thing called bodycon dresses. A lot of people may not know what that is. It's basically like a dress that's painted on you, and a bodycon dress is not for everybody. And then it's one thing to wear it and you wear like a nice loose sweater on top or whatever. Not when you got boobs out here, butt out here, and I see every imprint of your body. That's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for work. It's not appropriate if you're a teacher in a school. It's not appropriate if you're a lawyer going before a judge. It's not appropriate for worship, for church. It's a time and a place for everything. And some outfits need to, I feel like in stores, sections should be called time and a place. Because a lot of clothes that's being worn now is not a time nor a place for it. And it's boggling my mind. And the thing about it is, it amazes me. People wear these clothes all year round, summer, winter, fall, and spring, as if it's okay. Like it's brick outside, and you guys are wearing stuff that you wore in the summertime. Just time and a place. Time and a place. Um, Even people that wear clergy wear, there's a time and a place to wear those things. I don't think that they have to be worn everywhere so people can say, oh, that's a minister of God, that's a preacher, that's this, or whatever. It's a time and a place. Now, you could dress very modest where nobody has to say, oh, because you have on a collar, because you have on clerical attire, because you have done this, all this chains and rings and whatnot. It's a time and a place. Seriously, it's time and place. It's becoming that we're making mockeries of everything. We're making a mockery of the church. We're making a mockery of the courthouse. We're making a mockery of the of education, because it's just like we don't, teachers like, oh, I'm still a teacher, so what? But no, but you're supposed to be an example to a student. People in church, you're supposed to be an example to the world, from the head to the last. And another thing is, how we dress to church is very important. We're supposed to stand out. We're supposed to be different. A person will go out their way to buy a brand new suit to wear to court to impress the judge, impress the the jury. But we don't think to say God is looking at how we look. We won't go buy a suit, but we'll come jeans, sneakers, t-shirts, cutouts, and it's like sweatsuits, male and female children. But we don't think to say I'm going before the I'm going for before the judge of all judges, who who's everywhere and anywhere at the same time. We don't think to say, let me come presentable before him. Let me come dressed with our mind to so-called, like, I just guess dressed to impress. When we come to church, we should dress becoming of holiness. The Bible tells us we're peculiar people in a royal priesthood. So I think when you go to church, your attire should be peculiar. It should be different. It should be set apart. And a lot of times we're not doing that, and it becomes confusing. Like, people always, I have this pet peeve. I don't wear my shoes. That's for church. My heels outside. Because my thought was, I bought them for church. They're for worship, and that's it. I don't want them to touch outside because I'm gonna get upset. Gum gets on it. This, that, and the other. We should have that mindset in everything that we do, that what's appropriate for what. If I wear something to a wedding, my intention is not to wear it to church or wear it to something else. It was bought to wear for a wedding or a banquet or a formal event. It's a time and a place for everything. Like a cap and gown, we know cap and gowns for ceremonial purposes. So it's not going to expect you to go to a birthday party and see a cap and gown for just because I wanted to pop up with a cap and gown. No. So if you see someone out of place with something, we typically tend to judge. But you have to examine yourself to say, whenever I put clothes on my back, whenever I get dressed, whenever I step foot out of my four doors of my home, am I dressed appropriate for the place that I'm going and for the time and the season that we are in? And if you're not, then rethink your thoughts of what you have on. Don't be so quick to look at someone else, because you might be the very person that's not dressed in the attire that is appropriate for the time, season, place, and events. So I just, and this, and I really want to tackle my own community of um black people, or whatever the case is. We're stigmatized that we don't, that sometimes we don't know how to dress, and people automatically will judge you based upon how you're dressed. So if you don't want to be judged, think about why are they judging me? Is this something that I could technically be judged upon, even though someone shouldn't judge us? But don't give them reason to talk. But I'm telling you, it was really bothering me. I could not stand seeing kids outside with no hat, no scarf, no gloves, no nothing. They were out. Kids were outside freezing, saying that I'm cold, and parents was just hooded up, like, you're bundled, and your kids are cold, like. And I'm like, the season has changed. You know what I'm saying? And that was really on my thoughts. And it's just like, when people get salvation and they become saved and filled with the Holy Ghost, guess what? This is a new season in your life. And when you come with a new season in your life, you're supposed to change. And change, says, I looked at my hands look new. I looked at my feet, they did too. You're supposed to brought about a change. So that means your attire is about that change. Your atmosphere, your walk. A lady at my son's school has been asking me since my son was in first grade, oh, can you bring me to church? Can you bring me to church? And I'm just encourage her, go to church somewhere. Just go to church somewhere. You don't have to go to church with me. And God was really working on my thoughts about that. Like, you've been talking really righteous to her and trying to encourage her. And then she's been asking you to take her to church since your son was in first grade. My son's in third grade now. And that has been bothering me ever since. Like, what am I doing to help her bring about a change in her life? That I encouraged her to go to church. She found a church. She started going to it. But then she's asking to come to church with me, and I'm not making the ways and the provisions to bring her to church with me. Even say, this is where my church is located. And I just went to her the other day to tell her that, you know what? Listen, God has really been dealing with me not bringing you to church, and you've been asking. I said, so I'm going to keep my word, and I'm going to bring you to church because you asked. And when she first asked me before, she said, I noticed you wear skirts all the time, so I'm going to pull out a dress. I'm going to assume your church wear dresses because you're always wearing a dress. Now, granted, I love dresses, like skirts and dresses. I'm just a feminine person that just love that. But because she took notice of what I wear, her thought was, I'm gonna assume your church wear dresses, so I'm gonna pull out a dress or a skirt. It's all about your attire, you know. And I don't think people really understand that your attire speaks volumes. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect in my attire, but I strive for the best. Like my organization, they teach us to wear white, and we have season colors: white and your powder blues in certain season. Then we have navy blue, your dark colors. Since our season have changed to the dark color, I have tried to comply with wearing navy blue almost every Sabbath. And I don't even comply with my job's uniform. And see, that's the thing about it. Even a job has a uniform, has a dress code. One thing that bothers me at my job, I bake with guys and I see their underwears, like your red underwears, your striped underwears. I see all your butt, your imprint in front because their pants is sagging. First of all, you're dealing with food, so you're pulling your pants up all night. That's disgusting. But it's a time and a place. I wish the look of sagging pants go out the window. Whatever idiot done brought that crap into society thinking it's cool to sag your pants, that's horrible. Pick your pants up and put more in your brain than in your, and then instead of you just sagging your pants. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Have common sense. Set the bar, set the standards for the next generation. My pastor, Bishop Woods, and my other granddad, his name is A.J. Evans. One thing I noticed from a child, they always wore a belt and always wore suspenders. And their concept was if your belt pops, you have suspenders to hold your pants up. And if your suspenders pop, you still have your belt to secure your pants. So my son is 8 years old, and guess what? He has several suspenders and a belt. And mentality is if one lets or one gives way, you have another one to secure you. Why? It's all about attire. And because I saw them set that precedent when I was a child, and I was like, I always admired that they always wear both. They always wear both. In my mind is that's what men are supposed to wear because that's what I saw, especially going to church. So I have established that in my son. This is what you're supposed to wear. That he's always saying, oh, where's my suspenders or where's my belt? A time and a place for everything. When you go to the basketball court, you're going with the mindset of, oh, I gotta wear my sneakers so I can ball. I need to wear my sweats or my shorts. You're not gonna think I need to wear my boots and whatnot because you're not gonna be suited for that purpose. My son is playing soccer. What he has to wear cleats. He has to wear this. You're an attire for the situation, the time, and the season. So I'm just encouraging people dress according to the time, season, and location. What the purpose is for, dress for it. Dress for it. And if you don't have, humble yourself to ask someone, where can I go to be in accordance to the time, season, and the purpose? So you won't be the next person on social media that someone is making fun of, making memes about, passing photos about. And another thing is when people dress inappropriate and you say people are staring at me, and I'm talking about the exposure of inappropriate, whether it be male or female, you're giving people the reason to stare for a negative reason. Their lust. The Bible says the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and pride of life. They're lustful with their eyes. They're gonna see something, they're gonna stare. And an old mother in a church told me, she said, I'm straight, but the way some of these women dress, I can't help but to stare because you're just showing me everything. I have seen one lady who dress split open because it was too tight, and their skirt slipped down past their butt crack because the dress had not much material on top, not much material on the bottom. And these are grown people. So what do you expect young people to do if you see grown people? It's hard to preach to someone. It's hard to teach someone how to dress. If those that are older, my dad had taught us this phrase, with age come wisdom. Then you get a little wiser. Say it's time out for that stuff, and I have to be an example because why? Someone under me is looking, and let them not look for the negative. Let them look for you in the positive. So I just wanted to say that little nugget because just walking outside today was just killing me. Just seeing how some people were dressed still. People still wearing chancletas, sandals, wedges. No, it's time for boots. It's time for thick socks. It's time for prepare yourself. When you go on a trip, you go on a cruise, you go on vacation, you properly prepare yourself. If you live in a cold climate and you go into a hot climate, you prepare yourself to change and wear what's for there and then say, oh, let me pack something for when I come back because I'm coming back to the cold. And if it be the other way around, you do the same thing. You prepare yourself for where you're going and where you have to come back to. So just like you do that for a vacation or for special occasions or for an emergency, prepare yourself for the time, place, season, reason, and occasion. And guess what? You won't be the next person on somebody's social media getting viral hits for being a laughing stock. But instead, get hits and go viral for being that person that did things to uplift, enhance, and be an example. And I will use Dorinda Clark Cole in my closing. She became the face of a clothing line. Because why? She was a church girl who constantly wore this clothing line, and it exemplified how a woman could look and dress like and whatnot. That God opened doors for her to get her own clothing line. So you never know when you dress appropriately for what the situation is, what doors God can open and what doors can be closed, because people will put you in the negative rather than the positive. So why don't you stand flat footed on the positive and not linger in the negative? All right, love you all. Talk to you later. God bless. I hope each and every one of you have a blessed day. And matter of fact, I'm going to pray. I was looking for a head covering. I'm going to pray. Um, I'm not where my head coverings are, so I'm just going to use my jacket and my hood. I'm going to pray that everyone have a blessed day. So, Father, we thank you for your loving kindness, your tender mercy, oh God. God, we thank you for our laying down, our uprisings, our going out and our coming in, oh God. God, we thank you for being a fence of protection all around us, keeping back the hands of the devil, oh God, keeping back every work of the enemy, oh God. Oh God, we thank you for keeping back every fire, every flood, every wielding knife, every out of control car, every stray bullet, oh God. We thank you for keeping back gas leaks, oh God. We thank you for keeping back every collapsed wall, every fallen in floor, oh God. God, we just thank you for keeping back anything that will cause us any disturbance within our lives, oh God. Oh God, we thank you that the fire department did not stop on our block, the ambulance did not come through our block, oh God. We thank you that the police didn't have to come in, oh God. We thank you for no intrusions through the night, oh God. Oh God, we thank you for we know you never sleep nor slumber, oh God. We thank you for just being God and God alone. We thank you for that you sit on the throne, oh God. We thank you for being so merciful, oh God, and so kind, oh God. Oh God, we know that your mercy endure forever, but God, we don't want your mercy to run out on us, oh God. We don't want you to laugh at us in the day of our calamities, oh God. Because you said the day we hear your voice, oh Father God, harden not our hearts, oh God. Help us to turn our mind fashions towards you, oh God. Give us a mind to serve you and a heart to love you and a soul to go back with you. Let someone cry out, what must I do to be saved and enter the kingdom of heaven, oh God. Oh God, hell is enlarging itself every day. Help us not to increase hell, but to decrease it, oh God. In the mighty name of Jesus, help us to stand flat footed upon your word. Those that don't know you, oh God, give them a mind to seek your face, oh God, and turn from their wicked ways, oh God. God, you sent your son on Calvary's cross that we don't have to be lost, oh God. He said, if I be lifted up from the earth, you'll draw all men unto me, oh God. So, oh God, help us to lift you up. Let us be like the angels that bow before you and the heavenly hosts adore you, oh God. Oh God, those that are suffering with anything, oh God, we know you be our mind fixer, your heart regulator, oh God. We know you be a company keeper. You told us to cast our cares upon you, oh God, for you care for thee, oh God. So God, we ask you right now, pass us not, oh gentle Savior. Hear our humble cry. While on us thou art calling, don't pass us by, oh God. God, let this prayer reach each and every ear that might hear it, oh God. Let it be an uplift, not a tear down, oh God. In the mighty name of Jesus, oh God, draw us closer, just a closer walk to thee. Grant this, Jesus, is our plea, oh God. Make us one, even as your Father in heaven is one. Let us not take for granted each and every day that we could see your face, oh God. God, help us turn from our wicked ways, Father God. We bless your name. In Jesus' name we do pray. Love you much. God bless. Amen.